This is Figma 649, A2 from NieR Automata. Impulse purchase, of course. But since Figma 2B was so good, might as well, right? Let's do an in-depth review of her and see what she's all about. Her box is the small Figma kind, which is appreciated, saves a lot of space. Oh, and she does have a good smile bonus, which is a stand, but I don't have it because don't really care for it. Opening up the box, there is just one tray and some instructions about her gear and stuff. And shoulders and things. She does look fairly minimal, there's not too much stuff, so let's see if she's worth it. Here she is, looking pretty good I reckon. I'm not too familiar with her, honestly. Let me know, does she look like she's meant to? Everything I would say is pretty standard Figma, so of good quality, I suppose. Face and hair do look good, but nothing super fancy. Sculpt is nice, but the paint isn't quite perfect. She is pretty much just 3 colors, right? But the black paint isn't exactly even. Although it might just be close up on camera. In person, to be honest, it's probably not noticeable. I suppose you could also consider it a feature though, because from what I understand, she is kind of a jungle lady, right? Doesn't really bathe. So the smudges on her modestly sized thighs are actually meant to be there. And of course, we got some toesies for the fans. Which I suppose do look okay, they're kind of big, but whatever, it's, some people are into that, right? No, not me though. Anyway, here are some back shots. Usually covered by her long hair, of course, but she does have a nicely sculpted back, just like her sister. Are they sisters? I don't actually know any NieR lore. They're about the same height as well. 2B looks maybe slightly taller in some shots. I don't know, is that accurate? What do you reckon? Looks pretty good, right? Do let me know your thoughts down below. Now if you like what these girls look like, imagine if they were life-sized. Well actually you don't even have to imagine because Gamelady makes life-sized realistic silicone dolls. The details look absolutely insane. They are pretty much squishy all over in all the places you can imagine. They have realistic hair and super detailed faces and outfits. Perfect for posing, displaying, taking pictures, and doing whatever you want with them. And if you're wondering, of course they have all the bits and bobs. You can pretty much customize everything you want about your waifu too. If you want your NieR girlies, 2B, A2, they got you covered. If you want Final Fantasy girlies, they got you there as well. How about the newest and insanely thick Chun-Li? Of course they got Stellar Blade and girls from a bunch of different series. If you're worried about being judged, don't. Gamelady offers free and discreet shipping. I'll have them linked below, and thank you Gamelady for sponsoring this video. For articulation, head turns quite well. Just be careful of the side hair bits because they might get caught on the shoulders. Her head can kind of go up and down because that is what the joint looks like. Very similar to a Snail Shell joint if you have any of those. Just goes into the back of the head. She can look down about that much. Although this is with her neck pulled up, or rather her head pulled up a little bit, so it might look a little bit funny. Otherwise, looking up about that much, so you will have to work on the angle and perspective and stuff like that. Her back hair will move up and down out of the way quite a lot, so that's good. Sideways, once again, kind of depends on how much you pull her head up, because it will get in the way on the side there. Head range, nothing fancy, but it gets the job done I think. There is separate neck movement as well at the base of the neck there, so that is what that looks like. It will tilt a little bit. Hasn't popped off yet. Arms will raise all the way up. Very nice. And this is also the movement out of the box, so I haven't moved her around or anything. This is the first time I am moving her about. So tolerances and the whole feeling, overall movement feels good. So very good front reach and crossed arms there, because she does have a butterfly. That moves nice and smoothly, so it's not loose or anything, just nice and smooth movement. Goes back. Although I gotta say, you might want to be careful because I'm not quite sure how sturdy that joint will be. Going backwards, not as much because her kind of shoulder blade there will get in the way a little bit. Which is a little bit strange because if they just carve that bit out a little bit more, then she could have a better backwards reach. So I'm pretty sure the shoulder joint, yeah, the shoulder butterfly thing doesn't really go back anymore, so that is kind of a back reach, which is a little bit strange because the front is a lot better. The markings on her arms is okay. They kind of continue to the back there, so you won't really notice it too much. I guess with like the details on her arms and stuff like that, yeah, don't worry too much, because it kind of looks like it's cut up and fractured anyway. But otherwise, what else? Raising up like so, just be careful because that felt a little bit tight and the joint is... She's not like a big figure or anything, so the joints are kind of small, so just be careful of that. Otherwise, is there a bicep rotation? There is a bicep rotation, just where that black line is. Standard Figma elbows bends about that much, so not too bad, but nothing too special. You can kind of rotate it there as well. Wrists move up and down, all the way around, very nice, nothing gets in the way there, that's good. So arm movement, forwards reach, really good. Backwards, not so much. Upper torso tilts, it's not bad, but nothing too special there. Backwards and forwards. So backwards, if you push it too much, it will pop off because the joint isn't too long or anything. Going forwards, about that much. So I'm taking care not to use the ab cut yet. That is how much she bends. She can also rotate a little bit, so that is pretty much the upper torso movement. It's not crazy or anything. Although she does have that ab cut, which is, it's a very personal preference thing, right? Although her design is like all black there, so it's fine, I think. Bending forwards, she can bend that much, which is fine. It's pretty good, I think. Although it is a bit gappy at the back. Bending backwards. Don't push the angle too much or she will pop off. That is what it looks like. So let me see if I can... It's backwards. And then that's forwards. Okay, backwards and forwards. Although you will have to be careful because she might get caught on herself. Don't know how I managed that. So if anyone's wondering, that is what the ab joint looks like. I hope this clicks back into place, otherwise that's very awkward. So this is a good experience to not force your figures too much. So that is a soft piece, and this is a floating piece. So essentially it's just meant to like click into there, isn't it? So it's, yeah, there you go. So that is what it looks like with that piece removed, which is, I'm not sure why you'd do that, but anyway, let's try, oh dear. Let's try to fix her up. I think that just goes there, right? And this thing, just push it onto there. There you go. So that is attached back on, and then pop her on like that. So yeah, if you push the angles, she will fall apart. So let's try that one last time. So forward bend, pretty good. Backward bend, gets caught on the thing. Well, otherwise, should bend a whole bunch. Her legs will split up to the sides, all the way. Very nice. And that is what the joint looks like. Kicking forwards. A little bit past 90. Kicking backwards. Also past 90, so that is what she looks like with a forward-backward split. Coupled with the torso movement, of course, she can just do super high kicks. She does... Is that a thigh rotation? That is a thigh rotation, that's good. So you can pull it off, that's what it looks like. Otherwise... So it will get a little bit gappy because of the floating diaper piece there that we saw. But as long as you take your time to kind of move it around and make sure everything is in the proper place, it should be okay. Otherwise, knees, she has, I believe those are double knees. So she does have double knees, although they don't bend all the way, about that much. And then feet, down, up, all the way around. And then of course you can fake a pivot if you get the joint in the right direction. And there are toes, of course. So overall movement, I think it's not too bad. It's nothing crazy, just take your time with it and be mindful that if you push some angles, she might pop apart. A2 does have some head and hair swaps. By default, of course, she has long hair and just a kind of neutral face. Print work and everything, I think, look fine, nothing too special. Let's pop her hair off and see what the whole face looks like. And we will try to swap him with 2B later on and see if that works. She has a kind of funky shouting face with the tongue kind of sticking out, but not really. But that is what that looks like. The full faceplate. And there is an angry, teeth-gritted one. Details look okay, it's nothing too fancy, I think. A2 has an alternate hairpiece, which is, it's actually a whole hairpiece, so you can pop a face in there and then it'll just be a whole head that you can pop on whatever Figma will fit. And of course it is a short hairstyle. You just pop the front hair off, like so. Put in the face of your choice. And then you should be able to just pop it off like so. So that was quite easy to pop off. It wasn't loose or anything, but I think a decent tolerance. So that is what she looks like with the short hair. Looks quite nice, I think. Do you prefer the short hair or the long hair? Let me know. Also, I'm not sure if it's picking up on camera, but the face and the neck and this part of her like upper chest torso is kind of a different color. So the neck and the joints, they're kind of more like a peachy skin tone, whereas her arms and the collarbone area there are kind of more yellowy. It's not too noticeable, but it is worth mentioning. So actually what you can do is take the long back hair and the short front hair. They are actually a little bit different, so they're quite different actually. That's much longer. So you can plug this into the long hair, although it's not a tight or exact fit. That is what that looks like. Although unfortunately you can't use the long hair and plug it into the short hair because the tab is a little bit bigger, so it doesn't fit. Strapped to the back of the tray there is some baggies and things. Figma bag. And the stand and hand stuff. A little close up of the stand, that's what that looks like. Square Enix, made in China. Stand arm. A little plug thing, so you can plug it into her butt, her back. We've got the hands there. And one spare wrist joint, how generous. For hands, she has 4 pairs total. By default, she's got these enclosed kind of fisty hands. They don't look too fisty, but yeah, they're like enclosed hands. We've got these nice open kind of gesture or relaxed hands. And we've got these kind of open, also somewhat relaxed. Not really relaxed, they're kind of more like grabby hands, grabby support hands. Of course, we got some holdy hands because she does come with some weapons, which we will take a little look at in a bit. Let's see if the girlies can do some swaps. So, this is of course 2B's face. And 2B does have fat faces, unfortunately, so it will not exactly fit onto there. So there is a little bit of difference in a size there. A very big difference in the back as well. And let's see if these can be swapped. And that is what it looks like when they have their heads swapped. Doesn't look too bad, I reckon. You should be able to do this as well, although the torso joints didn't quite want to fit. I think 2B's lower body is a little bit shorter than A2's. For weaponry, we have a little sword. That is what that looks like. It's not too detailed or anything, but it does have some nice sculpting, and it is in 2 shades of grey. More impressively, we have this big sword, looking very nice. Has some good weight to it. and has some nice details as well. The little sword, you can just plug it into her hand. Let's see if we can get it done. Just like that. Slides in smoothly, I guess, not too hard to do. I'm pretty sure you can just slide the big sword into there as well, but what you can also do is just pull it apart, and that should make it a little bit easier. Just slide it in there, and then pop it back on. So unfortunately, she can't really hold the blade because weak wrists. So I think it's mainly the wrists. If you tighten up the wrists, I think she should be able to hold the blade by herself, because the elbow and the arm, yeah, the elbow and arm do seem to do okay. It's just mainly the wrist which is loose. So that is something that you can do if you want. Just tighten up the wrists and then she can hold the sword by herself. And with her arm range, she is able to hold it with 2 hands, something like that. Don't forget to check out Gamelady, and we also have a Discord via YouTube membership or Patreon if you are interested. A2 is pretty much exactly 15 centimeters or 6 inches to the top of her head. If you pull her head up a little bit, she gains like an extra half a centimeter or so. Overall, I think Figma A2 from NieR is a pretty solid figure. She has better articulation than 2B, as she doesn't really have anything getting in the way of her arms and legs. Of course, head range is limited by her long hair a little bit. I think she's also the only 1/12 A2 figure out there, right? So if you like the character, she is definitely worth grabbing. Curious to hear your thoughts on her? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.